lot of the OGs that I've met over the years who've been following Tesla. I'm fairly late to the game, but it's crazy even since 2018, going from being weeks, if not days, from bankruptcy to how the company has been going from ramping to 5,000 Model 3s into full self-driving. And the one thing, I always knew that I was driving a robot at the end of the day, but never did I think, I guess maybe I was just limited in thinking that we would ever create humanoids in Tesla specifically. And again, how would you say, as also too, Tesla is an AI robotics company, how has that just changed the outlook for Tesla, just having these bots maybe, ramping to being in the factories? And you've made comments about how you believe, Tesla will be the most valuable company in the world. And so, how is robotics? So how has robotics, humanoids just impacted the valuation view and really the vision for the company?
Right, well, you can think of the Tesla cars as essentially robots on four wheels. So it's really profound, and I'd recommend just giving demonstrations of the self-driving capability to people, to friends and family and stuff, because if you take a Model 3 or Model Y, it's a good-looking car, but it doesn't look like it has super intelligence. It looks like it's a good-looking electric car, but it doesn't look like it's like. I use the analogy like, let's say you had a cat, and it looks like a normal cat, but actually your cat can talk and jump up and do like a hat and cane dance. And
Are you talking about Garfield?
Let's say you had a sentient cat that could talk and sing and dance. But people look at the cat on the couch and the cat, well, it just looks like a normal cat, until it jumps up and does the song and dance. And it's like, wow, what was that? So that's the thing with the self-driving, is that, yeah, sure, the Model 3 Y, they're good-looking, normal-looking cars, except ours can basically sing and dance. And it's intelligent and can drive from one place to another. So, so just demonstrating that to people kind of blows their mind. So I'd recommend doing that, because that's really key. And then for the Optimus robot, that's really an extension of what we've learned with the car. So the car is a robot with four wheels, intelligent robot with four wheels, and Optimus is an intelligent robot with arms and legs. So, in the case of in the case of Optimus, we have to design every part of the robot from scratch. All the motors and gears and electronics and sensors all have to be designed from scratch, and also we have to learn how to operate all of these motors and sensors. You really get to learn a lot about how the human body works, and you realize there's a reason why we evolved this way. There's a reason why the muscles that operate your hand are actually located in your forearm, because you actually so if you look at your sort of hand, it's sort of like it's like a puppet basically, and the puppet strings are in your forearm. There are a small number of muscles that are actually in the hand, but most of the muscles that operate your hand are in your forearm. So with the current version of Optimus, we actually have the actuators in the hand, but with the new version that we're moving to later this year, the actuators are in the forearm, and really emulating how a human hand works. So, there really are no motors, and there are no actuators. When I say actuator, an actuator would be like motor plus gearbox plus power electronics and sensors. There are no actuators that you can buy for really any amount of money that work well for a humanoid robot. So we had to go back to physics first principles and design all of the actuators from scratch. So it's a tremendous amount of work, and I think it'd be very difficult for any company that does not have, that's not extremely good at designing actuators to make an effective humanoid robot. And then it'll have the same brain as the car. So initially hardware 4 and then hardware 5 in 26. And then just as the car is learning how to navigate reality, it's the same basic process for the humanoid robot. And I think basically everyone's going to want one. So it's like, there's little ways to think of robots, but like let's say R2-D2 and C-3PO were real. Like, who would not want R2-D2 C-3PO? That would be awesome. Space friendly, of course. That's very but I think it's kind of like people get pretty attached to their humanoid robots, just like people, you get attached to C-3PO and R2-D2. I think everyone's going to pretty much want one. And I think long term, the cost of the humanoid robot should be less than the cost of a car because it weighs less. There's, fewer parts in it. So ultimately, I think, a humanoid robot that is super useful. I think long term is probably like $20,000 or $25,000. So it depends on what a dollar's worth in the future. Inflation and all, but current year dollars, I think, I can see reaching a price of $20,000-$25,000 for a humanoid robot that would be really useful. That could help you take care of kids, walk the dog, go get groceries, whatever works, So I think everyone's going to want one. So there's 8 billion people on Earth, and I think they're all going to want one. So that's why I think it's probably going to be the biggest thing ever.
Elon, what are you going to use your robot for?
Initially we're starting production unit 1 of production design 1 of Optimus, which we'll do some basic stuff in the Tesla factories next year, because we want to iron out a lot of details. It's just to make sure it's useful. And for the first year or so, it's going to require quite a lot of babysitting from engineering. And then hopefully when we get to 2026, that'll be when we can sort of sell it outside the company, because be confident that it'll work reasonably well and respond to voice commands and that kind of thing. So, and then you'll be able to sort of, I think, customize how the robot looks as well, long term. You can kind of shell or skin the robot however you like. So I think there'll be wide variations in how the robot looks, how the robot looks, and maybe some third parties could do cool things. Just like there's cool third party wraps of the Cybertruck. Some really creative art, I think. So the Cybertruck's even though it ships as kind of bare stainless steel, I think it ends up having some of the most interesting art in terms of how it's wrapped. And so it's really quite unique. And actually, I talked to Pharrell. He's also very creative, and I think he has some ideas for doing a Pharrell version of an Optimus, for example. It's pretty cool to have different artists come up with different versions of Optimus.
So, speaking of Cybertruck, I've had a Cybertruck since middle of February, and I'm so used to FSD. And you probably know.
You really want to, I totally agree.
I don't know if I could get special access, but or more for everybody. I'm just saying I've driven 10,000 miles, and it kills my soul to be driving the most advanced technology.
Sure.
And I feel like I'm driving. It's still the most amazing vehicle
Sure.
Tesla's ever made. But any updates on FSD with Cybertruck?
I think that should be coming out in August. So.
Technically 2 weeks.
Something 2 to 4-ish weeks. I mean, I'm not sure the exact timing because we just have to test it and make sure it works well. But 12.5 is where a lot of things come together. Where you've got the high, we upgrade the highway stack to be the latest version, so it's you don't have the old highway stack and the new city stack. So having one sort of integrated state-of-the-art stack for highway and city is a big deal. Like little things like you can wear sunglasses and still do the hands-off driving, and then having it work on Cybertruck. I mean, a friend of mine drove a Cybertruck all the way halfway across the country, and he said it was driving him crazy that he could not turn on FSD.
We literally have people, I think, who drove from Florida, Toronto, in their Cybertrucks. Well, not for, but just coming from all over the U.S. And I think that's literally the one thing. They were just like feeling peasant status, even though this is the best product that Tesla has made yet. So,
it's great. It's a great product. It should be very soon.
Elon, what other future car projects are you most excited about? Is it the Roadster? Is it the Robotaxi? Can you speak about what you're most excited about?
Well, I think in terms of what will have the biggest impact in the world, it will be the robotaxi, dedicated robotaxi. Now, of course, all Tesla vehicles can operate it, or will be able to operate as a robotaxi. Pretty much all. So, I think the dedicated robotaxi will have the single biggest effect in the world. The semi-truck, I think, will have a very, very big effect. The Roadster is one of those things that's not like necessary from a utility standpoint, but is super cool. I guess a friend of mine, Peter Thiel, is like, he always says like, why don't we have flying cars? And I'm like, wait for it. Does it change the world? I don't know, but I think like sometimes you just gotta have things that are just cool. It's just great to have awesome things in the world. So it's kind of cherry on the cake. I think the Roadster demo will be mind-blowing. It might be the most mind-blowing demo of anything ever.
Wow.
I don't know if you can share that, but it's all good if you have to pass on that one.
I think next year. Next year sometime. And that's a joint sort of Tesla SpaceX effort. So it's kind of applying combining rocket engineering with Tesla EV engineering. To make something really special.
I heard it can fly a little.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be something special, and we'll continue to make new products that we haven't talked about at all. So there's new things that'll come out. But the really ultra profound thing is full self-driving. Unsupervised full self-driving. That's like the gigantic thing. And then Optimus having an autonomous, useful humanoid robot is an even bigger thing than full self-driving. Those are the two things that like if you were to look back in history from, fast forward like 20, 30 years or 50 years even, like what are the things that really were profound? It'll be unsupervised, a general solution to unsupervised full self-driving, and a humanoid robot that is truly useful. Even 100 years from now, they'll be like, whoa, those are big ones.
You have a date on the calendar for the announcement and launch of the the robotaxi. What can we expect from that?
Well, I can't give it away, you're gonna have some, you don't want to give the show away before the show. So I think it'll be
Just
cool.
a tease.
I think it'll be cool. I think people will be pretty excited, and yeah. It's like I do wonder, like in the actual event itself, how many people will realize how profound it is, what we're gonna show? I think some people will understand how profound, not everyone will, but it will be obvious in hindsight.
I just want to do a quick time check. Or do you want to keep going a little bit more, or is
I would, 5 or 10 minutes more.
okay?